China has dealt a significant blow to the US by banning exports of critical minerals such as antimony, gallium, and germanium, key components for semiconductors and military technology. With China dominating a substantial share of global mineral processing, this move could have far-reaching implications. How will the West navigate this game-changing development?
China is striking back at U.S. export controls of key technologies to China with its own export restrictions on raw materials that go into some chips and other strategic technologies. China is by far the world leader in producing gallium and germanium, two so-called minor metals that are used in a major way in many tech products, from compound semiconductors, electric vehicle parts, radar systems, mobile phone screens, even night vision goggles, and satellite solar cells. These are not, however, considered rare earths. In fact, they can be plentiful in the world as they are byproducts from processing other commodities like coal, bauxite, zinc, and alumina, an extraction process that's fairly costly. That's why China dominates the global market. They've kept a lid on those costs. Now, from August 1st, China will slap export controls on the two metals, which will likely force buyers in the West to seek supplies elsewhere.
The minerals in question are essential components in semiconductor chips and military equipment. Antimony, for instance, plays a crucial role as a flame retardant and is used in machine bearings for the defense industry. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, USGS, the U.S. consumed about 22,000 tons of antimony in 2022, with China supplying 63% of U.S. imports of antimony metal and oxide. The next largest supplier, Belgium, contributed just 8%. China's dominance in the global supply chain is staggering. Approximately 90% of the world's critical mineral processing occurs within its borders, granting China unparalleled power and influence on the global stage.
In the mist and the mountains of Yunnan province, it feels far from a global trade battle, but it's right at the heart of it. China is a Goliath for critical minerals. They're used to make everything, from smartphones and lithium batteries to electric vehicles.
This valley is littered with rare earth mines, and many of them are small operations. But the scale of it across China is extraordinary. 90% of all the world's critical mineral processing is done in this country, and that gives China unparalleled power.
Power and leverage it's now using, curbing exports of antimony, gallium, and germanium, found in semiconductor chips and military equipment.
China's dominance is particularly evident in the rare earth sector. In 2022, China accounted for nearly half of the world's antimony production and remains a leading player in other critical minerals, including tungsten, germanium, magnesium, barite, indium, graphite, gallium, and arsenic. The minerals targeted by China's export restrictions are vital for a wide range of high-tech industries and products, including smartphones, lithium batteries, and electric vehicles. In Yunnan province, rare earth mines are a common sight. While many of these mines are small-scale operations, their combined output highlights the extraordinary scale of China's mining activities. This extensive network of mines and processing facilities underpins the country's control over the global supply of critical minerals. For China, these mineral resources are more than just commodities. They are national assets of strategic importance. As Chinese mine owner Mr. Tan explains, mining not only benefits China's economy, but is also essential for its overall economic strength. His mine, which produces lead, zinc, and germanium, is described as China's treasure. The Chinese government has taken steps to protect these resources, framing its policies as essential for safeguarding national security.
Living opposite a mine, we meet Mr. Tan. He says China's resources are a national asset. Is mining good for China and important for China?
Yes, it means a lot of economic revenue. This mine produces lead, zinc, and germanium. They are our country's treasure.
China has publicly expressed its commitment to ensuring the safety and stability of global supply chain. The Chinese Ministry of Commerce has stated that its export restrictions are fair, justified, and non-discriminatory.
And China is proud to protect it, saying it's safeguarding its national security.
China commits to maintaining the safety and stability of global supply and production chains. Our export restriction measures are fair, justified, and non-discriminatory.
Many in the West view these actions as part of a broader strategy by China to gain leverage over the US and its allies. By controlling access to critical minerals, China can exert significant pressure on nations that depend on these resources for economic and military purposes. These export restrictions are the latest escalation in an ongoing tit-for-tat trade dispute between China and the West, particularly the United States. The US has been working to curb China's access to advanced technology, including cutting-edge semiconductor chips. In response, China has imposed export controls on minerals like gallium, germanium, and graphite. This move is widely perceived as retaliation, showcasing China's economic power. The impact of these restrictions is already being felt globally, with far-reaching consequences for businesses and consumers. A British semiconductor company has warned that reduced access to rare earth minerals could drive up product prices, highlighting the potential ripple effects of China's actions on global industries.
A tit-for-tat trade battle is underway. The US is restricting China's access to advanced technology.
It's giving consumers information about material that might...
This British company in Durham makes wafer-thin semiconductor chips and warns if there's less rare earth on the market, prices could go up.
Clearly, as countries such as China, but also other countries around the world, look at putting in tariffs and protections and export controls, it will place shocks on the supply chain. We're likely to see potential price shocks depending on the criticality of supply within certain minerals.
Export controls and restrictions are expected to disrupt global supply chains, with the severity of the impact depending on the criticality of each specific mineral. Experts caution that price shocks are likely as nations race to secure alternative sources. For instance, the price of antimony nearly doubled in 2023, reaching a record $2,750 per ton, and China's export controls are expected to push prices even higher. Under the new rules, sellers must obtain a license from the Chinese government to export any dual-use civilian and military materials or technologies related to these minerals. This approval process can take up to 3 months, further complicating supply chain. In response to China's tightened grip on critical mineral supplies, other nations are rushing to reduce their dependence on Chinese exports by developing their own reserves. The US, Japan, Australia, and several European countries have initiated efforts to boost domestic production and explore alternative sources. Now, if you like this video, check out this next video right here.